Hello, this is Giselle Gamby, business and life coach and proud host of the Intuitive Pull podcast. We're now pivoting to season 4 with an invitation to raise the stakes. I know I was made to remind people to raise the stakes, to seize, to claim, and execute the vision that you've intuitively seen, and to never accept the crumbs. What would it mean if you raised the stakes in your own life? What would you say yes to? And what would you say an undeniable no to? Be inspired, be agitated, be activated, and most of all, hold this truth that when you raise the stakes, the quantum field will show you dreams you didn't even know you had. Hello, Intuitive Pull community. I am feeling electric today, and so I am running with this energy, and I have to record this episode today from this supercharged energy that's running through me. For the last couple of sessions, I've been telling you that I've been teasing you that there is a new way of working with me that is much more accessible than the way that I have been coaching for the last 11 years in a very, very high, intimate one-on-one partnership. I realize that not everybody, just because they don't have the ability to invest in that level of coaching, doesn't mean that they're less devoted. And so I have finally received a way, and I have been so present to allowing this new form of service to show itself in its most immaculate nature. I have been listening, I have been writing about it, I have been feeling about it, I've been sharing about it with the right people, and I'm now ready to share and let you know how this program works, what it's in service to, who it's for. So I want to start by saying this. I do not have a sales page ready for my website yet. And I am still here podcasting to you because I want to show you that we don't have to have everything perfectly ready before we can take a leap. I want this episode to inspire your own intuitive pulls such that by being in the energy of this particular episode, you might see that because I haven't got all my ducks lined up in a row, doesn't mean that I can't follow the energy all the way through. And the energy is here today. It's electric. And so may this episode inspire you to take some giant leaps yourself, whether you believe that you're ready, whether you believe that you're got all your ducks lined up in a row or not. May this episode inspire you to take your own leaps. So, announcing your most significant, life-changing year again. This is what this program is in service to, your most significant, life-changing year again. This program, this year-long program, is one big practice of presence. This year-long program is in service to you being in the discipline of flow. And the way that is going to happen is by coming on board with me and playing life in the way that I've been playing it for many years. I don't have to remember to be present. I don't have to go and diarize in my calendar moments where I have to remember to be present, where I have to remember to be intuitive, where I have to guide myself to follow the intuitive pull. I live from a state of presence. I live from a state of intuition. I follow the intuitive pull whenever it's here to follow. But I know that that's not the way that everybody lives. I know that. And so I have received this program, this year-long program, which will be a practice of presence so that you are in the discipline of flow, so that you can have your most significant life-changing year again. And the way that we're going to do that is almost every day of the week, I write my notes to self. Every morning, I write my notes to self. These notes to self are a way of me getting present to how I'm feeling, to what I'm thinking about, to any resistances that might be going on, to any intuitive pulls that I'm feeling. These notes to self are a practice where I go and listen and receive and I download. These notes to self are the most beautiful practice of presence. And it's through these notes to self that I am guided in my life. It's through these notes to self that I practice unconditional self-responsibility. It's through these notes to self that I get to have deeper levels of trust within myself, deeper levels of love and value for myself. It's through these notes to self that I come into alignment with myself and I receive new visions, such as what I'm speaking to you about here. It's through these notes to self that I let go of control and I surrender. And I allow myself to fall into grace and faith. So much of my life, so much of my coaching is informed by the information that I receive from these notes to self. And so I am announcing this new program, this year-long program, where I will be inviting you to be accountable to writing your own notes to self, to be accountable to being in your own discipline of flow. Love always has bigger plans for us than the plans that we've made for ourselves. Sometimes that means that we have to do the hard miles to start with. Sometimes that means that we have to put our feet in the fire. We have to have a look at our blind spots and our thresholds. We have to look at how we've been setting ourselves up in ways that don't work for us. Sometimes that means that we have to look at how we've been limiting ourselves and the thresholds that and the lids that we've put on, how powerful, how loving, how deserving we can be, how big we can be in our leadership, how fulfilled we can be in our lives, how much transformation we can give ourselves, how many ripples we allow ourselves to affect, how happy we allow ourselves to be, how powerful we allow ourselves to be, how missioned up we allow ourselves to be. Sometimes we need to do the hard miles to come into energetic alignment with ourselves. Once we are in energetic alignment with ourselves, then we are able to see new vision because we have the internal space. And when we are ready to run with this new vision, we shift into a different gear where we're personally not doing the heavy lifting. We're still taking action and we're still following through, just as I am here with you. But those hard miles that we did, to come into energetic alignment with us in ourselves, to come into visionary alignment with ourselves, there's a shift in gear that happens. And this is where we remember the magic. This is where we allow grace to do the heavy lifting for us. This is where the stars align. This is when synchronicity happens and ease. This is when things fall into place. This is when we start to experience momentum. And at times that momentum comes with a hand of grace. And so this is the path. This is the journey during the year that I will be spending with the people on this program. I spoke 2 episodes ago to the 7 key components that I have experienced to being my most significant life-changing year again. And not only mine, but to the people that I coach. I talked about, in order for that to happen, we have to have more freedom. We cannot experience the next generation of ourselves by locating ourselves in the version of us that has created our reality to date. We have to have more freedom. I spoke to the invitation to raise the stakes, to not accept the way things are done or what we have experienced so far as being okay, especially if there's some mediocrity there, especially if there's some not enoughness or just enoughness. To have our most significant life-changing year, we have to raise the stakes. We have to bend reality. We have to know what we have energy for, and we have to know what we no longer have energy for. We have to receive what has energy for us and what no longer has energy for us. We have to be in our unapologetic leadership and authority. We can no longer hide from our authority or hide our authority. And as I said on that episode, we will be tested. Do we compromise? Or do we stand firm? So to experience our next most life-changing, significant year, we have to be in our uncompromised leadership. And we have to be open to experiencing unapologetic success. Why? Because when we raise the stakes, when we bend reality, when we see what is possible, we give others permission to do the same for themselves because we've been that demonstration for them. We have to bring more integrity into our world. If we're not squeaky clean, if our structures are not squeaky clean in how we operate, if our finances are not squeaky clean in the relationship that we have with them, if the models from which we're of service are not a match for who we are becoming or have become, we have to allow greater structural integrity into our world. Integrity must be one of the values that we choose. And another component to this being your most significant life-changing year is that when we are in alignment, because of the freedom that we have given ourselves, because we've rolled our sleeves up, because we've done the hard miles, we're then lit up with this creative agency that we've not met before. The creative agency in my body today is crazy. The excitement in my body today is beyond. And it's the reason why I had to come on. I didn't know I was going to come on today and share this episode with you and let you know what this program is about and how it works and what the pre-sale fee is and the fact that you can even commit to the program today without even the sales page being ready. I didn't know that that was going to happen. That happened because I wrote my notes to self today. And I wrote my notes to self on Saturday. A beautiful, beautiful piece came out after a yin yoga session at the gym. And I took myself to the beach and I expressed through these fingers on the keyboard what that energy wanted to tell me. And I will be sharing that, but not today. So do you feel the vibe of this program, this year-long program called Your Next Most Significant Life-Changing Year? Do you feel the vibe? Do you feel the energy? Do you feel the upliftment? Do you feel the calling? Do you feel the yes? Do you feel that this next year is one that must be one of those major breakthrough years? Do you feel that? Are you ready for that? And it's okay if you're not, because some people will still be in their last growth phase. They'll still be in the middle of it, or at the start of it, or towards the end of it. They might not be feeling what I'm feeling, which is I know my last growth period, which lasted for 10, 11 years. I know it's complete. I know the last 2 years have been readying me. And I have stepped into the next growth cycle. And I have rolled my sleeves up. I've done the work. And I'm here sharing with you. So do you feel, where are you at on your growth cycle? It's really powerful to actually see, where are you? Are you at the beginning? Are you at the middle? Are you at the end? Are you ready for the next one? So this is for people who are ready for the next one, who know it's time to grow again, who can feel it in their belly, who can feel it in their heart, who have a knowing and an intuition about it, that they're ready to experience what they haven't yet experienced about who they are, about what they're capable of. This is for people who are ready to experience what they don't know what they're capable of yet. But by committing to this kind of program, that capability emerges. It doesn't emerge from the head, from the rational mind. It emerges from this state of presence, not one that you plug into when you remember, not one that you plug into because you've diarized. You up-level your state of presence such that you walk life in presence, such that you walk life in intuition. And you do this in a community of people who are also choosing to walk life in presence and walk life in intuition. Walk life in awareness. Walk life with the decision of, this is going to be my most significant life-changing year again. Who walk life with the blessing of being in community that I hold as a divine ecosystem. Who walk life in trust and in surrender and in not knowing, but curious about the unfolding, curious about the unveiling, curious about the adventure and the mystery. Curious about those moments where they can see that moment of clarity has arrived and they can see what all the past challenges and contractions and resistances and successes and wins and pulls, they can see how all of that had to happen because they've arrived in this moment where they can see who they are. They can see who they've become. They can see what their life is about now. They can see what fulfillment, they can see where fulfillment lives for them now, not where fulfillment lived for them 10 years ago or 5 years ago even, but where fulfillment lives for them now. The fulfillment that I experienced 11 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago is not the fulfillment that my heart, I feel emotional, that my heart wishes for me now. My fulfillment lies at the heart of bringing what I have come to know to more and more and more and more and more people, a breadth of people. I am so blessed and so deeply grateful and appreciative of the fact that I have for the past 22 years, but particularly for the past 11 years, have worked so intimately with people one-on-one and in a mastermind environment, so intimately on retreats overseas, so intimately every week, one-on-one. I am so grateful for that work. It is incredibly precious, and I know that the work that we've done has changed their lives, is changing their lives, is something that will stay with them forever. I know that, and I'm so incredibly, incredibly grateful. And I'm continuing to choose to work with people one-on-one. In fact, I can feel 3 people in my field that are floating around that know that one-on-one with me is what they need. I can feel them, and I can feel that they are going to commit to working with me before I leave for Europe for 2 weeks on the 22nd of August. And my beingness and who I have become, the untapped abundance of who I already am and the untapped abundance of who I have become and am becoming, I have an availability within me that I've not had before until now. I have an availability to work with many people now. And so, let me tell you how the most significant, life-changing year program, let me tell you how it works. So in addition to me asking you to be accountable to writing your notes to self, now, as I said, I write my notes to self, if not every day, at least 6 days a week. I would love for you to do that. But if you don't do that, what I'm asking at for a minimum is 4 times per week. 4 times where you go into a state of presence and you write out your notes to self. So that's the baseline. How else this program will work is I will have a closed Facebook group where you will be able to share your notes to self, where you will be able to share the wins that you're having, where you'll be able to share the contractions that you might be having, where you'll be able to share the intuitions that you're having, anything to do with what you have been learning through your notes to self. I want you to use the closed Facebook group for you to share. I will be coaching in that Facebook group, as well as some super coaches that I am engaging for this program. As you share in this closed Facebook group, you will gain feedback from myself or the other super coaches. In addition to the Facebook group, there will be 4 hours of group coaching per month. The first hour will be a session facilitated by me and some of the super coaches. And we will be speaking every month to a particular theme. For example, raising the stakes. For example, coming into greater integrity with yourself. For example, being lit up with a creative agency you've not yet met before. For example, which is where we're actually going to start, you have to be free. So what are your blind spots? What are your thresholds? How have you set yourself up? What identity are you completing that no longer is current for who you are becoming? So every month we will have a teaching session that will begin that month, and that teaching session will speak to a particular theme. Then there will be 2 90-minute group coaching calls in that month, again, facilitated by me and the super coaches. In these 2 group calls, so 3 hours per month, will be made available for you to share your notes to self with the group. This way, you get feedback. This way, you get to see things that you can't see. This way, there's something very, very powerful in speaking out what you have written. I have a group call with my coach every Thursday at 1 o'clock. Almost every time I'm on that call, I speak out a note to self that I have written. The power of doing that is you get to see its resonance because you can feel it as you speak it out. You can also get to feel its dissonance if you're not quite on it, because you feel it when you're speaking it out. And being witnessed when you are in resonance, when you are in alignment, when you are in your power, when you are in your authenticity, there is something absolutely activating when you share that out amongst a group of peers and coaches and mentors. There is something very, very activating, very, very enlivening and energizing. And there will be intuitive pulls that you will see on these group calls that you will then go and take action on. I also imagine that there will be connections that will be made on these group calls and in this Facebook group. And so I'm so open to and so joyous at the idea that there will be people that will naturally connect and then connect outside our group calls, outside the closed Facebook group. There will be friendships, there might be partnerships, there might be collaborations that occur. And that makes me really, really happy. So when does all this kick off? This is going to be what is called an evergreen program. An evergreen program means that it continues rolling on and people can enter at any time. We will have a kick-off date, however, because it has to start sometime, right? So the first group call will begin on the 1st of November. Then we'll have another 2 calls that month. Then we'll run it through in December, and then we'll run it through in January. I have diarised those dates already, and then I will release some more dates after that. I'll mix up the time so that I can share it out over different time zones. The reason why I want to start this year and not wait until the 1st of January is because you may have heard me say this so many times at the end of each year. How we begin the year is how we have ended the year. We don't just begin the year with the energy that we wish that we would be if we start giving presents to ourselves on the 1st of January. If we start giving presents to ourselves before January, we then enter January with the energy that we are choosing. So that is why I'm not waiting until 2025 to begin this program. We will begin on the 1st of November, 2024. Now, people can join. They might not join on the 1st of November. They might want to join, I don't know, in February or May or September next year. That will be okay. That will absolutely be doable. And what I'm inviting you to do here, I don't have a sales page ready yet. There will be one in about a week's time. I could send you a whole sequence of emails, which I may do. And what I am inviting you here today is, if you are feeling the pull, I want this to be an intuitive exercise for you. I want you to be so present to your intuition right now, to your knowing right now. Is this program for me? Am I feeling it? Am I feeling its intention? Am I feeling that the next year is my most significant life-changing year again? Am I ready for that? Is that for me? I want you to be so present to that. And if that's a yes, I want you to be present to the energy of this program. Is the energy of this program for you? Or do you need one-on-one? Or do you need to go somewhere else, to someone else? You cannot have your most significant life-changing here again without help. That I know. I've been with my coach now for 7 years. I've had coaching all along since I began in 2020, in 2002. Different coaches. But the last one I've had, I'm in with him for 7 years now. If you feel that that is me, well, I want to invite you, just as I have taken the leap today without having everything ready. I invite you to take the leap yourself. I'm offering a pre-sale fee. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts for the value that you would receive in 1 year of being in the discipline of flow. Like where you will be in 1 year's time, you cannot even fathom right now. You don't have the capacity to know where you will be in 1 year's time. I didn't have the capacity to know that I'd be offering this program because I didn't even see it until the last couple of months. All that I'll say is this year of presence, this year of being accountable to being present and living an intuitive life through the practice of notes to self and by being in this divine ecosystem, this community, is that you'll be shown dreams you never knew you had. And that is a process of unfolding. That is a process of embracing the mystery and the adventure. So the pre-sale fee, for that to occur, as I said, it's absolutely nuts. It's like absolutely peanuts. And I don't know how long this pre-sale fee will be. I just know that I'll know in myself that, okay, now it's time to take it to the next level. So the pre-sale fee is 5,500 Aussie dollars paid up front for 1 year. Like, I actually feel emotional just even saying that out loud. That is, oh, that is an absolute no-brainer for people who are ready to intuitively buy this program. I am an intuitive buyer. I know when something is right for me. And if something is right for me, I don't need to know all the details. I go and say yes. And whenever I have done that, my goodness, have things changed in record speed. So I'm encouraging the intuitive buyers today to go to the show notes and put your credit card in. Pay that 5,500 Aussie dollars in full. And then I will get in contact with you and I will share you the details of this program including our call dates, and I will bring you into a closed Facebook group. And even though we start on the 1st of November, we'll actually be starting now. There'll be some things there between now and then where you'll start practicing your own notes to self. You'll start getting into the vibe, and you'll already have gone way past the start line by the time we get on the 1st of November on a group call. For the others who are not ready yet, for the others who need to know more about the program, who need that sales page, that's okay. No problem at all. That will be ready within a week. I don't know when I'm going to close that pre-sale price. The next fee that it will jump to from $5,500 will jump to $7,700. And then that will stay open for a while. I will run a masterclass, a free 1 hour each day masterclass at the end of September. Again, it's for those people who need to check this out more. They're not ready to say yes to themselves just yet or to this program just yet. So I will run a masterclass at the end of September, 1 hour each day. And that way, for those people who need more information and need more connection, that's cool. I understand that. So that will be available to you. So the next fee, as I said, will be $7,700. I don't know how long that will go for, when I'll stop that. And then the full fee for anybody coming in outside of that time frame will be $9,900. The $7,700 and $9,900 fees can be paid off in installments, monthly installments over a year. I am creating it this way because I don't want money to be the reason why somebody doesn't give them this to themselves. I have made this program so accessible. As I said, the pre-sale fee of $5,500, it literally just brought tears to my eyes. The value of this program being that it will be your most significant life-changing year again, and you have paid $5,500 for that. That's just madness. But I'm going with the intuitive pull. So there you go. It's out in the world. Yay! I'm super excited. I have an absolute knowing about this program. I don't know exactly what is going to unfold for everybody, and that's the fun of it. But I do know in my heart, because it's the way that I have lived my life, writing these notes to self, meditating every day, almost every day, and meditation will also be part of this program, where I'll be creating meditations for you every month for that to support you in you writing your notes to self. I'll be sharing playlists that I listen to that also get me in the vibe, that help me with my notes to self. I'll be sharing with you different ways in which you can write your notes to self, different environments in which you can write your notes to self, different ways in which you can share them. And what I do know, and how I'm going to end this episode, is that sometimes we need to do the hard miles. Sometimes we need to roll up our sleeves and take personal responsibility to come into greater integrity with who we are becoming. Sometimes we need to do that, and that will be part of the program. 100%. If you don't roll your sleeves up, if you don't take personal responsibility, if you don't see the identity that is no longer working for you, if you don't come to completion with that, well, then you won't have your most significant life-changing year. So you have to do that. And then after a time, once you've rolled your sleeves up, once you've done the hard miles, once you are free, once your vehicle is free to receive visions that were never part of the plan, but are so yours to experience, are so yours to own, are so yours to cherish and live from, well, then that's when grace arrives and helps us out. By the way, Grace also helped us out when we were doing the hard yards. As I've said on this podcast before, Grace can do the heavy lifting, and sometimes Grace can also be a bitch. But once we've done the hard miles, that's when Grace does come in and supports us. It's where we do feel the magic. It's where we do feel the ease. It's where the things that happen that we could never have orchestrated ourselves from this identity, it's when those beautiful miracles occur. So I have taken the leap. Is there something for you to take the leap on? I hope so. I hope this has been an incredible energetic transmission and activation. And if you are ready to take the leap into this program without a sales page and go to the payment section and put down your $5,500 for a whole year, wow, I am looking forward to welcoming you. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Hey guys, if you love this podcast, I have 2 requests. Number 1, sign up to the newsletter, which you can find in the show notes. Sharing is one of my superpowers, and there is only so much that I can share through the medium of podcasting. And I have very big plans this year to be radically generous to you. So sign up to that newsletter where you'll be able to receive a whole lot more that I trust will be super valuable to you. And number 2, I'm a massive referrer of the people I love to the people I love. Please share this episode or podcast with the people you love, and let's create some more breathtaking ripples of impact.